Hello to everyone listening. My name is Suki and welcome to the Connection Challenge, brought to you by Student Volunteer Connections in collaboration with CFRU radio station. In these unprecedented times, we're all facing unique challenges, but one that's universal is the challenge of staying connected with each other and our communities. My peer team at Student Volunteer Connection is taking this time to share stories about different ways the Connection Challenge is affecting members of our community. So, from our friends to local volunteers to different community organizations and nonprofits. This is to highlight their resilience and creativity in dealing with these challenges. We hope that through listening, you can appreciate the value of connection and feel inspired to explore different opportunities to connect with others and communities around you. So, Seth, let's get started. Welcome to our guest today. Could you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi everyone, my name is Karen Calzonetti and I am the volunteer engagement coordinator for Community Living Guelph Wellington. We're an organization that promotes and supports adults with developmental disabilities, community-based opportunities, and live their lives to the fullest. The connection with the University of Guelph right now is a collaboration we have known as Campus Friends.
Thank you, Karen. So you've mentioned that the main collaboration you have, or Community Living Guelph Wellington has with the university is Campus Friends. Could you tell us a little bit more about what Campus Friends entails?
Sure. Campus Friends matches a University of Guelph student volunteer known as a mentor with an adult who has a developmental disability who has chosen on his or her own to have the university experience. So people are matched one-to-one, and adults with developmental disabilities get to experience student life being mentored by an actual student.
That's great to hear. Now, usually, as I've understood, these would be on campus in person. With COVID, however, that is not possible. How has the Campus Friends initiative been adapted to COVID times, or is it even available to volunteer at the moment?
That's a really great question. Like everyone, certainly Campus Friends was faced with the challenge of how to pivot in an effective way and in a meaningful way. And upon kind of interviewing the Campus Friends students, they resoundingly had said, no, we want to continue. Doing something virtual is better than nothing. What I hadn't anticipated that for some, I believe that virtual is in some ways maybe even a little bit better. And the reason for that is because the one-to-one virtual platform that mentors now share with the Campus Friends student is a little bit more intimate. There are no more intrusions. I'm not even involved in the conversation. So a mentor and a student really get to know each other, become authentically engaged and connected in very significant ways, and learn from each other. The experiences that the student is exposed to are really focused around what is of interest to that student, what is of interest to the mentor, and together they kind of navigate this new normal.
That's great to hear. I can definitely attest to this because I've had the honor of being involved with Campus Friends for 3 years now. This is my third year. And if I had to compare it with last fall semester where everything was on campus, I was meeting with a student once a week, I believe about between an hour and 2 hours, depending how my schedule worked out that day. And now online with just one student face to face, it's a very different experience and in a good way. Because last year, I remember that, you only had that one connection and it won't be the same student each time. You would rotate. Maybe sometimes I would see that student once every few weeks, or maybe I won't even be paired with a student because there's just so many of us and we only have so many hours to give during that one meeting a week. Whilst now, when everything is virtual, the student I'm paired up with, I have learned so much, not just from our interactions, but just as from her as a person. Because I never knew that she had such a great imagination, such great creativity. And through our interactions, I've learned not only that she has all of these, but how she brings it to life in her own way. And that has helped me learn so much more perspective that I didn't even think about before. So definitely, I agree, it is a great experience. So, in relation to that, Karen, why do you think that students do volunteer for Campus Friends specifically during COVID times?
Another good question. And I did ask because I was very intrigued by the fact that in very stressful times, students still wanted to volunteer. I think it's brilliant. Uh, Students told me, mentors told me that they longed for the normalcy of volunteering. They longed for that connection. And I would argue that even during COVID, it's probably more significant that people really crave that collaboration, that getting to know someone, feeling of value, contributing in meaningful ways, having significant conversations, learning, and those beautiful magical moments that happen that are unscripted become things that help us get through what is a very tough time.
Wow, those are some great words there, Karen. And also a little bit of relation to that. Now, let's say some people have heard about Campus Friends and they're really interested. How do they get involved with Campus Friends?
Well, we do have a Facebook page so that I know that university students are that's familiar territory for them. So they can Google Campus Friends within Facebook and they'd be able to find us and they can contact me through that. They can also go on the clgw.ca website and contact me through either email or phone.
Thank you. Now, just a little something that I get asked a lot, so I would like to ask you, see from your perspective, what is the advice that you can tell students in general of how to get involved, how to start? Like, what would you like to say to them?
Volunteering is so significant and there are so many benefits to volunteering. So in a nutshell, in one word, I would say do what you feel passionate about. There are so many different ways to volunteer, both through the University of Guelph and in the city of Guelph and other communities. Do something that makes your heart sing.
That is some great advice there, Karen. And, in relation to all that as well, since we've had this chat about engagement, volunteering, and campus friends, and how to get connected, how campus friends overcame that and was still able to establish that connection between mentors and his students, what is the one thing, just the one thing you would like that listeners take away from this chat we had?
Well, to just do it, to despite the stresses of our times, recognize that we truly are all in this together. It's not a cliche. And the more that we can connect as human beings on that social level, the more meaning that brings to our lives, and the more joy. The thing that I see the most this term at the virtual level of Campus Friends that I really was pretty worried about was the presence of joy and is the presence of joy. People are really connecting in a way that is meaningful and authentic. And I would say that that's significant. So connect. You are not isolated.
All right, thank you. That's all the questions I had. Is there anything you like to add?
Not at all. It's been a real pleasure. I have to thank the University of Guelph. I have to thank everyone connected with Student Experience and SVC for your willingness, your generosity, and your creativity. I know that volunteering, as we now know it, it takes a little bit more of an imagination. And I have to say that you and your colleagues are doing just that. So keep it up, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Kira, and all of SVC also thank yous. Well, that concludes this episode of the Connection Challenge. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired moving forward to tackle the Connection Challenge in your own way. Don't forget to follow these stories on SVC Griff Life or course link page under the self-registration tab. And stay up to date with us on Instagram at EXPGuelph. Thank you all for listening, and until next time.